What's going on YouTube? My name is Conquer and welcome to my Isabelle character analysis. Today we're going over the way Isabelle works in Smash Bros Ultimate. Okay, starting with Isabelle's neutral attack, it's simply the squeaky hammer, popping people outside the head with the hammer. Now it seems that you can just spam this forever without a finishing combo to it, but the problem is every time you hit somebody, they're essentially pushed back unless you chop them in the corner or you're pushed back to the point where they can easily escape it. But then you could probably follow up with a tilt attack if needed. Isabelle's dash attack is a projectile that sends out a flower pot. It does decent damage. It actually does more damage the closer you are to your opponent. And when your opponent starts to get to a higher percentage, the knockback will start to increase significantly. Okay, and now for Isabelle's tilt attacks. Her up tilt attack, you're slapping somebody up in the air with a broom, and you can juggle somebody maybe 2 or 3 times depending on the character's weight and their percentage, or they're able to actually get out of it. Her down tilt is actually you uprooting the plants, and it does a good amount of damage actually. It has good knockback. Her forward and back tilt is slapping your opponent with an umbrella. Again, these do good damage also, and again, once your opponent starts racking up percent, has good knockback too, and has potential to KO, and probably around 100%. Also, a tip with tilt attacks: you actually change your control stick from smash attacks to tilt attacks. It actually makes it a lot easier to be able to use your tilt attacks when needed, opposed to accidentally using a smash attack when you actually want a tilt attack. Now for Isabelle's aerial attacks. For neutral aerial attack, you're jumping in air and you're hitting your opponent with pom-poms. Does decent amount of damage and has decent knockback. Can't really witness it now because King K. Rool is a heavy character, so depending on the character you're fighting. Now your forward and back aerial attack is your slingshot. Again, if you short hop while using it, you can actually tag people in your face. And now your down aerial attack, you're basically hitting people with radishes, and your up is the opposite. Now the thing is, if you short hop while down aerial attack, you can actually hit people that are on the ground, but you do this while up, it doesn't do anything. They have to be in the air. Now Isabelle's smash attacks. Now your down smashes out of the bucket of water, that actually hits both directions. It hits both in front of you and behind you. So even if you're facing away, if I can actually face away from my opponent, it will still hit them. But it seems that it will do more damage if you hit them with the forward instead of the back. Right. And now your up smash actually only hits in front of you. So if you turn around and you up smash, it won't even hit them. And now the thing with Isabelle too is, although there's not a platform right now, her up smash won't hit someone that's on a platform above you. A lot of characters' up smashes would actually hit on a platform above you, but Isabelle's won't. I guess she's too short. So you have to be aware that if a person's on a platform above you. Her forward and back smash does a lot of damage and has a really good knockback. You know, again, this can really kill people, probably around 90%, maybe even 80, depending on the character. Again, King K. Rool is heavy, but the problem is very short range. They kind of have to be in front of you, and it's really hard to get off. You know, if you're playing against good people, hitting them with a smash attack is really hard to do. She doesn't have any stuns, so you can't stun them into a smash attack. So you have to really wait for the most opportune time to use that smash attack, which is a good finisher. Okay, now for Isabelle's special moves. So now her neutral special is called Pocket. This is the same thing as the Villager, where she can actually pocket items put into her pocket. Now this also works on projectiles, where you can actually pocket projectiles and you can throw them back at your opponent, which will actually do more damage if you throw it back at them. Now, let me have him throw a projectile at me so I can demonstrate. So I'll pocket the projectile and I'll throw it back. Now I did that by pressing it twice. If I just press it once, I hold it in my pocket. So then I can press B again at any time to throw it back at my opponent. Now, so this also works on items. So you can pretty much pocket anything. But again, if it's a projectile, what will happen is you put it in your pocket, and then as soon as you press B, you'll release it. But if it's an item, what will happen is you'll put it in your pocket, then you press B again, and you'll hold it in your hand to be able to do whatever you want, whether that be put it back in your pocket by press B again. Isabelle's grab also works on items that are on the ground, and it actually has a really good range. Look, from all the way over there, I was able to pick up the Pokeball, and now I can use it. And I can also, again, if I wanted to, I could pick up the Pokeball, put it in my pocket, put it out again, or put it back in my pocket if I so choose, and use it on my opponent. Now you may think, well, if I'm playing online, most of the time they don't allow weapons or items, so how useful is that going to be? Well, another thing is actually some characters' projectiles can actually be considered a weapon. For instance, King K. Rool's crown, the weapon. Now, if I can get him to throw it at me to demonstrate, I can catch it in the air and throw it back at him. Bam, I just caught it. So now his crown is in my pocket. I can pull it out, I can put it back, and if you take X amount of damage, it'll knock it out of you. And then, so by pressing B again, I can pull it out and I can throw it at him. I can, oop, he picked it back up. Oh, and apparently if King K. Rool doesn't catch his crown, it'll stay on the ground. So now I can pick it back up. So now I have his crown in my hand. And again, I can throw it at him. I can pick it back up. I can throw it at him. Back in my hand. So again, some characters, and I'm assuming maybe like Diddy Kong, who throws bananas and stuff like that, those are considered weapons that are just part of the hero's kit that you can actually abuse. Now for Isabelle's down special is your Lloyd Rocket. So you press down B and you place a mine in the ground, and when your opponent walks over it, your Lloyd Rocket detonates, going up in the air, sending your opponent with it and doing damage, and it does extra damage on the explosion. Now, and you can also press down B again to manually detonate it whenever you choose. Now, my problem with the Lloyd Rocket is that if your opponent is fast, which there's a lot of fast characters in the game, they can actually run over the mine, detonate it, but actually run past it because they're so fast, which can be a little annoying. And also your opponents can destroy the mine, causing it to do friendly fire damage if you are near the explosion. They can do this with projectiles, or even if they just have attacks that kind of have long range. For instance, maybe characters that have swords or things of that matter can actually end up, or any type of projectile can actually kill the mine without actually getting near it. Now your forward and back special, which is I think Isabelle's bread and butter, is your fishing rod. But you throw the fishing rod and it's a command grab, and you snag your opponents, and you can actually, you have to quickly press what direction you want to send your opponent, but you can throw them forward, you can throw them backwards, you can throw them down, or you can throw them up. Now the fishing rod can really allow Isabelle to edge guard. So I can throw my opponent off, and then I can fish and then throw him back. And essentially you can keep doing this. And if you catch your opponent, you can just continue and continue and continue to go fishing until they can't come back anymore. And you see, I'm catching him on the up when I'm bringing the fishing rod back. Now Isabelle grabs is essentially the same thing as the villagers. It's nothing too special. Most of the time, if you grab down, you can kind of immediately follow up with a slingshot attack, and then you can possibly combo after that. But then you probably don't want to sling them left or right unless they're really close to dying. Now Isabelle's recovery is really great. Again, it's pretty much a reflection of the villagers. You can essentially be half a second away from death and use your recovery, which is her up B, and not even have to jump, not even press the jump button actually. Just press up B. But now there's a thing, you can't spam it unfortunately. Because what will happen is you keep pressing it, you only get one balloon. And now the one balloon will not travel as far as having two balloons. So now if I were to jump off the edge and go all the way to the bottom, if I go up with one balloon, I'm not gonna make it. And another thing is people can actually pop your balloon. Now, and which of course will cause you to fall and die. Again, when you have two balloons, I believe they can only pop one at a time. So they have to physically pop one balloon and pop the other for you to actually fall down out of the air. Again, most of the time when you're coming up to the platform, most of the time they only destroy your balloon once you make it to the flat platform, so it doesn't really matter. So it'll be very, very rare that you will actually die from someone jumping off the platform and destroying your balloon and them not dying for also doing so. So that's going to be very, very rare. Possible, but again, very, very rare. Another thing to note about Isabelle's recovery is that if you manually cancel your balloons, you start to free fall to the ground, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And once you reach the ground, you're stunned for about half a second. So because of this, you almost always want to make sure you reach the platform edge because you're invulnerable for about a second. So if you realize that you're going to go over the edge, you just want to make sure that you land as far away from your opponent as possible. So because you're stunned and you're free falling, this really gives time for your opponent to do whatever they want. And you don't really want to land on the platform and get hit by a smash attack and there is nothing that you could do. Another cool thing that I like about Isabelle is that she actually has 4 ways to pick up items. Of course, your normal way to pick up items is with the A button. Also because of her special B, which is pick up, allows you to automatically put something in your pocket. Also, fishing pole actually snatches up items. And also her grab, which is her net, also automatically picks up items and puts it in your pocket. But apparently you can only do it one at a time. But using a fishing pole automatically puts the item in your hand, while using net automatically puts it in your pocket. So that's another little cool thing that I actually like about Isabelle. So overall, I think Isabelle is a really, really solid character. The only things that I wish were changed is Haloid Rocket. I wish that Haloid Rocket acted the same way as the villagers did. I wish that instead of fishing rod being forward or back special, I wish that Haloid Rocket was the same and could go forward and backwards, because I feel you get more utility out of it going left and right instead of simply just going up. Or maybe if it was still the same down special and went forward instead of going up. I just feel like you would get more utility out of it. Also, her kind of lack of projectiles, I feel, for being a small light character, which means to really do damage, you kind of have to get into your opponent's face. But when you're a small light character and you're playing against people who have swords or heavy characters, kind of don't want to get in their face and allow them to do damage to you or start to get off combos. So there was a way for them to possibly change those 2 things about Isabelle, but like she would be a perfect character. But that's all I have to say on Isabelle. And this concludes my Isabelle character analysis breakdown. And if you like videos like this, you should go ahead and click the subscribe button, because trust me, we got a lot more to come. Thank you.